Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Desert Claw, and today we're going to be going over chapter 258 of Fire Force. And yes, I am aware the raws are out for 59, but I'm not going to talk about that until there's a translation, and I'll do a video as soon as that comes out. You'll probably get that sooner than the normal Wednesdays when I post these. So once again, before we get going, anime only viewers, I'm going to spoil the manga, so if that bothers you, you might want to go. But before you go, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the growth of the channel and lets you know when new content drops. Okay, so we're left off where Arthur and Vulcan went back to the 8th to do this trial and tribulation that Arthur needs to go through. And you find out that they need to play a super Nintendo game called Dragon Question, which is clearly Dragon Quest in a Super Nintendo. I'm curious, like, when Nintendo sued the crap out of the magazine that posts Fire Force, if they actually just said Dragon or Nintendo Super Nintendo and then Dragon Quest. Obviously, Dragon Quest is owned by Square Enix, but in a couple panels in this manga, they show the actual game and the spell names. Either I'd have to look at the raw of it, but the spell names are Oomph, Kabuff, and a couple other things that are already in the Dragon Quest game. So it's clearly what that is. But anyway, so in Arthur's mind, in order for him to beat Dragon, he has to beat this game. And it brings up a lot of questions about Dragon's origins. And I'm starting to think that Dragon was dreamt up by Arthur alone. He was created in adolla through Arthur's dream of fighting him. And since he could never beat this game, his rival manifested and just joined the White Clad, and this has just been seeking out this hero nemesis of his, or I shouldn't say hero, a knight nemesis of his that he has to fight. That's even probably why he even came back to Earth. You know, he had the choice. Dragon was floating out in space like cars from JoJo, and he had the choice to just chill out there for all of eternity if he wanted to, but no, he chose to come back, which tells me that they had this link together, and it came from Arthur's playing this video game and never being able to beat it. And since apparently the last boss is a dragon, this is what happened. So Vulcan and Arthur are playing Dragon Question, and Vulcan's giving him advice, and Arthur is min-maxing his characters. He's just making sure he has all the best gear, but apparently he's not bright enough to use the other character abilities in the game. So how in Dragon Quest, except for the first game, you have party members. The first Dragon Quest, it's just you by yourself. It might even be the second. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure you get party members in the second. So he's not using his party members to their full extent to have buffs and stuff. So Vulcan, says, "Why aren't you using the abilities of your party? Why aren't you buffing people?" And Arthur's like, "A buff?" And before this, he's been dying over and over on this pseudo dragon. So it's like a mini boss before the final boss, I'm assuming, or somewhere within the story. And so he starts buffing, and then we get back to Captain Pon, and he's still fighting Captain Haig. Is he Captain Pon now? I don't know. And he's basically stacking and buffing himself over and over and over again. Which to me, if you play a bunch of games, any kind of MMO, he's twinking himself, basically. He keeps over buffing so then he could stack his stats for a short amount of time to do whatever he needs to. And during this fight, he's taking a lot of damage. Captain Haig is throwing his axes. I'm curious, is he manifesting these axes? Because he tosses them, but you don't really see him go back for them. Is he manifesting his axes from like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 does with his weapons, or Archer from Fate? So Pan takes 2 axes to the shoulders, and they do damage to him, and he pops them out of his shoulders, and just blood clearly coming out. He's taken some freaking pain, and he continues to buff himself over and over again. And then he basically rends through Captain Haig and destroys him and says, you gotta get out. You're a distorted memory out to hurt people. Rest in peace. Now, it's interesting that it focused on Pan during this time in the game. That since he's a support character per se, he can buff people. This tells me that Arthur is not going to be facing Dragon alone anymore. He's going to have an entourage. You remember some of Arthur's old delusions of him, in his knight outfit and other people in different fantasy outfits. What I could see fighting Dragon is Arthur, Pan. Let me think here. Arthur, Pan, probably Tamaki, and probably. Let me think here. Who would fit the fantasy? I don't know. Maybe not Tamaki because she's a cat. Let's see here. There's one healer, and I can't think of her name, but I haven't seen her fight. When you go back, when Shinra got stabbed by Sho, and that fire healer had to heal him through it. But have we seen her again since that time? I don't think we have. If we have, you can tell me in the comments down below. But definitely Maki. Maki's the witch. She's a great archetype, fantasy archetype, and probably Ogun. Ogun would be a great tank character, a monk. So you got the knight Arthur, monk Ogun, witch Tamaki, or not Tamaki, sorry, witch Maki, and then God, who would Pan for support. He's the closest thing to a healer you would get. So you have the Holy Trinity basically, minus like you got Black Mage and with Maki. Even though the older Dragon Quests had classes, the newer ones got rid of them basically, where you got like a skill tree instead. But in the older games, I think like 3, 4, 5, and 6, and maybe 7. It's been a long time. I haven't played every single one, but I do know about their systems where you could change your class. And the way the game worked is you didn't get experience for the class in a normal way. You just had to do X amount of battles. So each class would level up by X amount of battles. So what you could do is just, if you were like playing on a system that allowed you to speed things up, you know what I mean? You could just speed through a bunch of battles and level up your classes. So, yeah, so I think that would be the perfect 4-way. And then maybe Vulcan as a 5th as like a mediator, because he doesn't have any powers. So, maybe they're going to have him be the wizard. I don't know. But he doesn't really, he's just, he's a scientist. So, I don't know. But yeah, my point is I don't think you're going to have Arthur facing Dragon alone anymore. He's going to have a posse. He's going to have a team. And that's what you're seeing here when he's playing the game. He's now using his other characters' abilities. He's not just trying to brute force his way through it by having the best equipment and level up to the most, because clearly that doesn't always work in every RPG or JRPG. You have to do strategy for it. Some of the games that are poorly designed, you can brute force through them, absolutely. But most of them, well, Final Fantasy Tactics, for example, if you do the strategy where you don't, like grind levels and stuff like that, the game can be pretty challenging, but you can kind of brute force your way through it too. That's why they created that. I think it was a 1.3 hard mode patch for that game. I don't know why I got on that tangent, but yeah. So at the end, Arthur defeats the pseudo dragon, which is the mid boss, and they can move on to the next thing. So we're not gonna get. I will tell you this: I've seen the Raws, and the next chapter has nothing to do with what's going on here. So we won't understand what happens after this for a while. I don't even think we'll need to return. If I were Okubo, I don't even think you need to return to what this is. You see Arthur and Vulcan show up again, and Arthur starts recruiting people to fight Dragon. He handpicks the classes that he needs based on what's in the video game. And honestly, this is the best way to deal with this, because we're in an alternate reality now. Adolla is here, and all the rules have changed. And remember, Licht was really upset that he didn't understand the rules of the new world. Well, Arthur does, clearly. Like, this is, people probably think this is super silly, but it's not. Arthur's always been the smartest character on the team with this whole universe. And if I do think a lot of people, if they give this series a chance, which I think you should, read through the manga, then go rewatch the anime that we have so far. You're gonna get a different. I think you're gonna like Arthur a lot more. I think a lot of people write him off as a goofy character, but that's the point. I think there's way more to Arthur just being a goofy character. Arthur gets what's happening. He gets the world. So that's all I got on this one. Really excited for translation to come out for the next chapter. It looks really good. I'll say that much. You can see the raws right now, but honestly, I would just wait till the translation comes out. But yeah, Black Clover videos coming out either tomorrow or Friday. I am doing this as a recording instead of a live stream now because I do want to test out the new system that YouTube uses to upload things. I did use some more screens than I normally do. I want to see if they get flagged. I just want to test that system out, so we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll continue doing that, or maybe we'll continue to do more live streams. I'm not opposed to either. I think they're both fine, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like and subscribe for more content. It really helps the channel, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace.